Dan here, the Georgian chef. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be doing one of my favorite recipes, which is stuffed pork tenderloin, and stuffed with an onion sage dressing, smoked on the Traeger, so much flavor, unbelievable. So first thing we're going to do is make the stuffing. So with 2 pork tenderloins, I'll typically use about a half loaf of real grainy bread. About that much. So it's not day-old bread, but it's fine, and the best way to do it is just to tear it. Just put in the bowl, tear it. Really doesn't matter whether the pieces are uniform or not. It's all going to taste good. Grainy breads are the best. They have more texture. You could use whatever bread you like, but we love this one. Okay, so we've torn up about 8-10 slices of bread, and not uniform chunks at all, and we're just going to let that sit while we get everything else ready. So we're just going to dice up half an onion here. For the sage onion dressing, I've just put in here about 1/8 pound of salted butter. I'm just going to melt that on the heat. As it melts, I'm going to add the onions, stir them up, and then I'm going to be adding probably a good tablespoon or 2 of ground sage, not rubbed sage, but ground sage. Once everything is nice and happy, if I need a little bit more liquid, I'll add a little bit more butter. Careful not to burn it or brown it, and then once it's all good, I'm just going to dump it in this bowl. Okay, here's our onion sage. I'm going to put the butter in. I seasoned it with some salt and pepper first. And I ended up putting in just 1 tablespoon, 3 teaspoons, same thing, of sage in there. And I added, just about another tablespoon of butter, just to give me a bit more liquid. So then we're just going to dump that in there and just mix it up. Smells absolutely amazing. There you go. So now we'll just let that sit. It's got to cool down. We don't want to put a hot stuffing into cold meat unless you're going to cook it right away, because then you risk more cross-contamination of meat liquids in the breads. Okay, the stuffing is cooled down now. I just covered it with some plastic wrap, and it tastes really good. A piece like that. Delicious. So now the secret of this is knowing how to butcher your pork tenderloin. So I have 2 nice pork tenderloins. This one's larger than this one. And what we want to do here is just trim off some of this silver skin, which is just a little bit of membrane. So we don't need to trim off too much. We're going to make sure we don't take much meat with us, and just so the flavors can get in there. I'm not worried about anything else there. Just this little bit of fat here, I'll just trim that out. Very important to have a nice sharp knife. And so that piece is ready. A little bit, I'll just trim this off here too. So now, how do we flatten this? Okay, we got a nice round part here, and that is going to be at the bottom or the top. So we need to flip that over, and so we've got more of a flat side here. Okay. Now we're going to take our knife and gently, right in the middle, just go down, pressing very lightly. I usually follow it with my finger just to see how deep I'm going. So I don't want to cut all the way through. So I'm cutting down to about maybe 1/4 of an inch or so from cutting right through. So that's as far as I want to go that way. So you can see there that we've got 2 pieces that are fairly even. Now my next cut, I'm going to go inside here, and I'm just going to just score it in there. And see the way that just opened up? I got this thick piece here, so I'm going to go in there again and score that again, and I can do it just a little bit more And that's about all I want to do on that side. So same thing on this side. Is again just gently score in there. Open it up with your fingers. And nothing has to be perfect. You just want to try and not cut through. Sometimes it happens. Don't worry if you have. So there, we've got a nice flattened piece of pork tenderloin. And now we're going to do the other half. So, finding the middle. Just rub it with your finger in there. Depress very lightly. And know how deep you're going. So now I just open it up. For that side. There we go. So now it's deciding which is going to be on the bottom, which is going to be on the top. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the smaller one for the bottom because it's going to lie flat. So I'll just open that up and grab the stuffing and just start to place that right in there. It's going to be wonderful. Grab the last bit of these onions. So once we have that on, then we take the other piece and we just lay it on top. And I could say, like, this is the flat part, this is the pointy end, so I would put a flat part to a pointy end and a pointy end to a flat part. So that's a pointy end, that's a flat part. So I'm just going to lay that right on top, just like that. I'm just going to wash my hands and get some string, cut it to length, and then we'll tie it up. Okay, so now we're going to tie it up, and I figure I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably six pieces of string. It's good butcher's cord. It has a little bit of ribbing on it, which means it ties and holds really well. So what I like to do is figure out how much I'm going to want to give me lots of room to work, and then I'll just make 6 equal lengths. There's 4, 5, 6, and I'll just do one more. Good luck. Just cut all the loops. Just cut the loops here. Now we should have lots of string to work with, because once we handle this, we don't want to handle anything else. So I like to usually start somewhere about 1/3 in. So I just slide that in there and go around like this, poke in a little loop, and then it's like a slip knot. So now I can reef on it as tight as I want. That's probably plenty tight. And then I'll just do one to finish it. And then just snip that out. So each string is going to be a slice. So I slice it up in between the string. So I can just do a little loop. Snip that in. And there. There we go, we're all tied up. So there's our roast, which is beautiful. So now we're just going to put some rub on that set it on the smoker. So this is just my all-purpose rub. I've used this on my ribs and many other things. If you check out the YouTube channel for my baby back ribs, I've got the full recipe for this rub. That's ready to go in the smoker. Okay, the pork tenderloin has been on the smoker now for 40 minutes. This is a recipe that I call 40-40. Well, I'll do 40 minutes on smoke at a low temp just to get the flavor, and then 40 minutes at a high temp just to finish cooking it all through. So it's been on for 40 minutes on smoke. Temperature is about 190 degrees, which is perfect. I'm going to get some nice smoke flavor on there, a nice smoke ring. So now I'm simply just going to turn the temperature up to 325 for another 40 minutes, and it'll be done. Pork tenderloin's been on for about 50 minutes now. I initially set my timer for 40 minutes, and then I put in a temperature probe, which is very, very important. Now, the temperature I'm showing right now is an internal temperature of 149 degrees. Okay? At 150, I'm going to pull it off. The temperature probe is actually in the stuffing, and that's the internal part, and I know the meat's going to be on the outside. It's going to be done perfectly, but I don't want to dry it out too much. I'm going to take it inside, wrap it in foil. Temperature is going to still come up another 5 to 10 degrees after that, which is right where I want it. So there's our roast. And if I check the surface temperature right there, surface temperature is 164 degrees, so I know it's ready to come off. So we'll take this in, cover it in foil, and leave it rest for about 20 minutes or so, maybe 15. I'll just keep an eye on the temperature. Okay. We brought the pork tenderloin inside, double wrapped it in foil, and temperature came up 5 degrees up to 155, which is perfect. So I'm just now going to pull out the probe and slice this up. What I like to do is I will slice in between the strings, so that way the string will keep everything together when you serve it on a plate. So I'm just going to cut into this first section here, and I'm just going to take a slice out of the middle here. To the plate. And just put that just like that. That is beautiful. I'm going to take a look there. You can see the smoke ring on the outside. Everything is cooked well. There's lots of stuffing. Absolutely delicious. And the way I like to serve this is different ways. We'll often serve it with a red pepper jelly, which is absolutely delicious. But today I'm going to serve it with some of this homemade Carolina mustard sauce, which is just fantastic for all pork. Just great with pulled pork, it's great with pork tenderloin, and I even put it on a smoked burger. There's a YouTube video on my channel for the smoked beef burgers, and they're absolutely amazing. And you put some of that on there. So I'll just put some of that on the side. Okay, we're going to have a little taste of this. Now first I like to just get in and zip off the string off one end. And then just carefully get my fork to get at it. Come on, string. Pull that off. Taste that pork. Smell stuffing. And here's the test. Absolutely delicious. Cook this for company. they're going to rave about it. I've cooked it for company and they wanted the recipe, so I made this video for it. 2 pork tenderloins with the stuffing in there, tied up. We'll serve 6 people. Get 6 nice sized slices out of there. Some are a little bit bigger than other ones. The pellets I use hickory for this. I use hickory for mostly all my smoking because I like the intense smoky flavor. Sometimes I will use also maple or apple. Anyway, it's delicious. Bon appetit, happy smoking, and check out my other videos. Thanks a lot.